Bruno Guimaraes transfer latest amid release clause claims and Arsenal interest in Newcastle star. Premier League champions Arsenal interested in signing Brazil midfielder Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle United during the summer transfer window. Bruno Guimaraes continues to be linked with a move to Arsenal and woke up on Sunday to reports from Brazil suggesting he has an escape clause in his Newcastle United contract. It was claimed in those reports that the midfielder could leave the Magpies this summer for a set fee. Brazilian publication Globo reported that Bruno's Newcastle exit could be triggered for £60 million in the current window after the Magpies failed to qualify for the Champions League, a clause confirmed by those close to the deal. Football.London single quote says colleagues in the North East at Chronicle Live reports. However, Chronicle Live has also been told by sources at Newcastle that they dispute any type of release clause existing for the Brazil international. Since interest from Arsenal was confirmed, albeit with no official bid launched yet, it has been made clear by Toon chiefs that they do not want to sell their influential skipper. Bruno has previously had escape clauses in his contract that expire after a certain amount of time, with a £100 million exit option, timing out in June 2024, amid interest from Man City and the Gunners. Were that to be the case again, Arsenal would be left with a couple of days to trigger his exit at that price, but as of Sunday lunchtime, the Premier League champions had not tabled a formal bid. Chronicle Live reports that a price of £45 million was suggested via intermediaries, but this was swiftly dismissed, as Newcastle aren't interested in losing a key player. Newcastle have made it clear they will only sell players on their terms this summer, with CEO David Hopkinson addressing journalists back in March with a strong message. Hopkinson said back in March, "We think through what players might or might not want to do this summer. But if an Alexander Isak-like scenario presents itself again, any player under contract is going to leave on our terms and we're going to maximize the opportunity that might represent for the club." Back then, Newcastle also refused to rule out bringing in marquee signings, but suggested that star names would have to be sold in order for that to happen. Hopkinson said, "We can do that, but we might not be able to do that without selling somebody." Bruno's stance on his future at Newcastle is yet to surface, but Eddie Howe stated in March his captain was committed to the black and white cause. After being linked with Man United in the spring, Howe said of Bruno, "To say our captain is in discussions with another club is totally disrespectful to Bruno more than anything else. He's totally committed here." Arsenal's interest in Bruno Guimaraes is no secret. It's been present for more than 6 years. The Gunners have supposedly been making informal moves for the Brazilian, while Newcastle United maintain that he is not for sale under any circumstances. That may change, money talks, and it did last summer with Alexander Isak, while any move would be expected to be for considerably less. Overall, the reception to Arsenal's interest has been overwhelmingly positive, with a belief that the midfielder would add much-needed quality and depth to the midfield as Mikel Arteta aims to successfully defend the Premier League title. However, the scrutinizers of the deal have one solid argument to throw into the ring: his age. Now 28, turning 29 in November. No, I won't repeat the joke again. Guimaraes is hardly a youngster in the sport, as he was when Arsenal were first interested in 2020. Not only are there concerns about investing in a soon-to-be 29-year-old, but those utterly convinced by Guimaraes have been encouraged to look to the existing midfielders. Christian Norgard, 32, Mikel Merino, 30, Declan Rice, 27, Martinodegaard, 27, Eberechies, 28 and Martin Zubimendi, 27. However, it is fair to say that adding another mid to late 20s player to that group does mean that, in the near future, investment in the midfield will be required again to refresh the options. No doubt, this is a fair point, but the more success Arsenal have, the more they will have to reinvest. Miles Lewis-Skelly and Max Dowman are viewed as two excellent young talents at the club, too, both seen as potential starting options in the middle third. As Arsenal have needs for the present, Guimaraes' arrival would remedy exactly that and, in turn, help the future too. This Arsenal recruitment group have earned faith, and for now, it would be smart to trust the strategy.